It seems like the most important thing right now is what now? So you have people who are about to renew their mortgages. You know, we normally think of either you're locked into a fixed mortgage, so you can't take advantage of the rates, or you can get a variable. Is there any other wiggle room than those two?
There is, and I think a lot of people, when they think fixed rate, they think 5 years. You can go for a shorter term if you're not sure where interest rates are going, and that means that you will have another opportunity to fix a new rate or go variable. A lot of economists are saying there could be a rate cut this year, and that, of course, is going to weigh on you when you make that decision. So when you sit down with your bank, it's not just clear-cut, variable or fixed. You can do a lot of blended options as well, and you can definitely make that term shorter, so that gives you options in the future.
You're going to have to do your homework, though, right? Because I would imagine a bank isn't particularly interested in selling you a shorter fixed-term mortgage rate.
Yeah, mortgages are their biggest product. They make most money off that than they do practically anything else they sell you. You can go to many sites, rate comparison sites, that tell you what every bank across the country is offering. I would use that as a first place to get some information. You can shop around. You can call all the big banks and see what they're offering. Just be aware that if you are doing many applications, they're doing a hard check, and that can impact your credit score. So be aware of that before you go and apply at all different banks for that mortgage.
I want to ask you about stress tests too, because we hear about financial stress tests, certainly for first-time buyers. But what if you're not a first-time buyer and you're just going to renew? Does that apply to you in any way?
It can. So if you're renewing with your same financial institution, you will not be stress tested again. If you're taking your mortgage to a new bank and your mortgage is still insured, then if you already went through a stress test, the government has now said you do not need to be stress tested again. But if you're taking your mortgage to another bank, you have an uninsured mortgage, you could be subject to a stress test. And of course, you have to prove that you can pay that mortgage at that much higher interest rate than what you signed up for originally.
Okay, there's a lot that's complicated here. One last question. You're starting to hear a lot about people who want to extend their mortgage, who feel like they have no choice but to make 15 years, 20 years, 25, 30. What goes through your mind when you hear people talk about that?
So there's two things happening. One is, are you just trying to improve your cash flow situation? So if you're extending your mortgage, your payments will go down. You'll have more money to pay for the day-to-day stuff, your utilities, your kids' activities, things that happen that you have to pay for on a monthly basis. But be aware that you're paying more interest, and it is going to take you longer to pay that mortgage off. And that means other financial goals, whether they be retirement or, vacations or whatever it is in the future for you, may have to wait because your mortgage is taking longer to pay off.
All right, Rubina, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.